Disclaimer. The following is a parody of CinemaSin's Everything Wrong With series and has absolutely nothing to do with my final opinion on the game. I am purely just pointing things out for the sake of pointing things out. Also for funsies. I don't know what else to put here, so I'm just not going to put anything else here. Alright, enjoy the video. Ugh, that's what we look like? Listen, if I wanted to look like a middle-aged man with stunted growth, I probably would have played a separate game. Maybe Mario. Yeah, that's not a soccer ball. You weren't going to get that up on your foot. God damn, that porch is big compared to him. I know he's just a kid, but there's no way that porch was that big. Pretty sure that's not how locks work. Did he just break his own window to get to me? You could have just used the front door. That would have been just as fine. Oh, we're back at our house? Well, I mean, I guess it would have been weird to have two kids in your basement, but why didn't you just put me back down there as well? Nobody would have been able to stop you. I wouldn't have been able to tell anybody. There's a certain puzzle right here which has to have me stack boxes on top of this shelf right here in order to get to the roof, which would then give me access to a series of windows, which would then give me access to the car key that I need to unlock the car. While this isn't a very difficult challenge, it is definitely trying just to get up here without the neighbor noticing you, especially whenever you're trying to get up there safely without anyone noticing you, and then you end up getting spotted anyways, and then the neighbor just chases after you. Yeah, this is a really easy puzzle, but damn is it daunting to get past. You know, I never really thought about it until now, but why does the neighbor have a giant hole in his wall? I mean, if it's been there for long enough to where he couldn't have done it, then I guess that makes sense as to why he covered it up. But if he did do it, then why does he have a hole in his wall? Was he planning on adding something different to this? Also, that's just terrible key placement right there, on his part. Okay, so there's this puzzle here that requires you to get a bowling ball and place it on top of this fan here so that way you can actually go to the separate side of the house and use a lift to get up to the red window. My thing is, why though? I don't really think it should be this complicated to get into a room of your house. Have it locked or something, sure, but there's no need to make it this complicated. This is Hello Neighbor, not MacGyver, for God's sake. Alright, we got the key. Now let's see what's in this trunk. A magnet gun? Wait, does this just attract anything metallic? Or is there a limit as to what's going on here? I don't really think we should be able to have this. Also, it's very convenient that the neighbor's weakness just so happens to be boxes. We don't even know what's in these things, and we're throwing them around like they're fucking paper, so clearly they're not that heavy, right? If that's the case, then why is he getting knocked down so easily? The boxes that are open, yeah, sure, you can find out what's in them pretty easily, but these ones are closed. It's not really that much of a challenge to get back up from these boxes, and he's acting as if he just got hit with a lamp. That was incredibly easy to get. Why is that so easy? You know, anybody with this magnet gun can just get anything they want, right? Why do we have this kind of accessibility? If this is the case, why can't we just get the key from the window upstairs if it's that strong? Oh no! Oh, I got caught. Wait, what? Why am I not back at my house? Why am I in this weird place? And yes, I know these kinds of moments are supposed to show some sort of lore significance, but that's not why I'm playing Hello Neighbor. I'm playing Hello Neighbor for the glitchiness and the bugginess, not this. You know, it's never occurred to me before, but why do we just go back to our house every time? Like, yeah, I get it. I mentioned this before, but I kind of want to go more in depth with this. Why are we going back to our house? Does he just think that kidnapping 2 kids is far more dangerous than kidnapping 1? Also, why does he have a direct access to his roof? Does he plan on fixing this hole? Clearly not. He's got a way to get in and out of it, so what's the purpose? This is just making our job a lot easier. If you had everything underneath lock and key, respectively, then this probably would have been a lot harder for us to get out of the house. Or even in it. Also, I just love how the red key room has a window that's red. So gimmicky. Finally, I'm in the basement. Alright, now where's that kid at? Oh, the door's locked? Alright, whatever, I guess. This looks like a perfectly normal basement. Why does he have all these fake windows? It's the basement. He knows he's not outside. Why are you putting these here if he already knows that? Also, how did he manage to get all this set up in such a short amount of time? Didn't he just kidnap his own son and put him in the basement? It's odd. Also, you can pick these things up, and I truly don't know how it's not impairing our vision at all. So there's this long puzzle that you're supposed to do, which involves you going through multiple different doors and multiple different pathways just to be able to get inside the room with the generator that you need to do. But I just did some speedrunner tricks, and this seemed to work out perfectly fine. I'm not even sure why this puzzle was even needed in the first place. All you gotta do is just break the physics engine a little bit. It's not very difficult. I didn't see you at all. How in the hell were you able to find me like this? I mean, yeah, sure, the gate was open and everything, but it still would have taken you a bit to realize I'd actually gotten here in the first place. Also, I know that we don't really get to unlock this door until later on, but it's kind of a dick move that they put all 3 of those keys there, and there was no way for you to be able to actually unlock them. Why did he take my shoe? Did he try and change me? Why? I don't really understand this. Also, random cardboard cutout kid. Don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, when the imposter is sus! Really hope you like looking at this beginning animation right here of you getting out of the basement doors, because you're going to be seeing this a lot if you don't know your way around Act 2. Which, honestly, I don't really blame you on. This took me like at least 20 attempts to try and at least get a figuration of how I'm supposed to leave this place at all, let alone actually escape. There's this puzzle here that requires you to actually flip up these 3 water valves in order to actually get ahead and use the water pressure to get the valve. That's great and all, but where is any indication of this? I'm not entirely certain whether or not this is actually intended to be a puzzle or just some sort of random thing. Why is there a wrench in the freezer? Just why? So, I'm not entirely certain why, but there's this robot shark up here, and I get it, but I already got rid of the water. Does the shark just not affect me anymore? Also, again, terrible key placement. That's not where that should go. Oh, so he dug a grave. Wait, there's only a key in there? That's incredibly misleading. I thought you actually killed somebody. Is that tomato? Hey, listen, pal. Unless they're rotten, which I highly doubt, I don't think that's how tomato splotches are usually supposed to work when you throw them at people. So we used this key to unlock the dollhouse, and for some reason, the doors from this dollhouse affect the real world doors as well. Listen, I'm all for it in a world where a man mysteriously builds a giant-ass house just to keep his secrets at bay. I really do believe in that. But, really? Listen, I'm dealing with a dreamscape here, okay? Not magic. Hey, Warner Brothers called. They said they want Emmett back from the Lego movie. And this other thing, too. Why does putting an Emmett there make a bigger one in the bathroom downstairs? That's not how this is supposed to work. I mean, sure, it gives you a crowbar, but I don't really think that it should work like this at all. Oh, we're in different clothes now. And there's a cardboard cutout controlling the machine. Wait, I'm sorry, is this a dreamscape where all of a sudden we have a really good fashion sense and cardboard just reigns supreme now? Again, I don't think I quite follow. Oh, that is not a flattering angle. Especially given what we look like. Jesus. Also, how did you get out here? The red key's located all the way up near the top floor. There's no way you could have gotten that before then. Oh, it was a dream? Wait, but the whole it's a dream thing doesn't come into play until the end of Act 3, near Act Finale. But how come some dreams are actual dreams and other ones aren't? Pick a gimmick. What are the rules, damn it? Somehow the scariest part of this game isn't the neighbor that's trying to chase you, or the overly whelming platforming, or the bad physics engine. It's the fact that this man's getting evicted, which is a totally real-world issue that somebody probably has to live through. Oh, that house looks run down. I hate to be the guy that owns that one. Wait, that's our old house. Never mind the fact that we're moving into a neighborhood that we clearly have bad memories in. Why are we moving back into our old house? Do we own it now? Do we have some sort of ties to it? Never mind that. How'd the neighbor's house get this way? It looks like it's storm damage. So there's a character here called the Shadow Man that I'm going to get into here in just a second. But what I think is really funny as to how this happens is because he just looks at him for too long and he gets his vision all blurred and stuff. I don't think that's the way that's supposed to work. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But the Shadow Man is supposed to be a representation of Nikki's past traumas, which then includes the neighbor's situation. But if that's the case, why isn't the Shadow Man just visions of the neighbor? He's the one that caused him the trauma, not exactly anything else. So why is it just a random polygonal man? You know, I never thought about it until now, but if this house has been abandoned and presumably been owned by some other entity for the longest time, then what's an old picture of me doing here? Did my parents not fully move out or anything? That's not exactly, you know, cool or normal even. Why is my old picture left here is what I'm trying to say. Oh, come on. This is most definitely a dream now. If it wasn't before, it is now. Why do we gotta go through with this? Why do you look back like that? It's like he wanted us to get into his house this time. Well, if that's the case, then just don't go over there. You've got a fully refurbished house. You could just live here, and aside from the invisible walls, I'm pretty sure a car can bring you by some food at some point. What I'm trying to say is, why even bother? This is a dream where clearly you can do anything you want, so why don't you just not do this? He clearly expects you over there. So this is a thing that I've always had a fault with in this game. Why is the only lever accessible to the elevator not available on the outside? For safety purposes, I get it, but how exactly does he get up to the rest of his house if all the other entrances and exits are blocked? Does he just teleport there? That's not possible because it can't really happen. So I guess my question is, why does he block off his only entrance to the upstairs? And plus, this isn't even a real elevator. It takes a ladder to get up there, 3 ladders actually, to get up all the way up to the top floor. So why is this considered an elevator? Wouldn't this just be considered like a ladderway? A ladder case? I don't know. Oh, like that isn't dangerous enough to fall down. Listen, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of why this is considered a lot of OSHA violations, because if I did that, we'd be here all day. But what I am going to say is most of this geometry should be impossible. Like, in more ways than one. How is this man able to get around his own house? Well, actually, scratch that. He can't get around most of his own house, because in my experience from playing this game, he really can't. He can only get into certain rooms, and even then, that's from entrances that you've opened. I guess what I'm trying to say is, how did he build this house if he doesn't even know his own way around it? So I'm pretty sure most of you are aware that have played this game. There are these minigames called the Fear minigames. There's 3 in total. There's the Fear School, Fear Supermarket, and Fear Pantry? I'm not exactly sure how to label those. But as far as I'm concerned, these are just ways to get over your fears. So I guess Nikki's fears are the pantry, going grocery shopping, and going to school? Well, if that's the case, how in the hell did he survive adulthood then? Because trust me, man, school and grocery shopping are your 2 main things in life. Being scared of a pantry? Sure, I guess. I don't know. But the other 2? Oh, he must have had it rough as an adult. That's probably why he got evicted. Yeah. Probably not a high school education or anything because he's so scared of it. Also, why are most of these things mannequins? I know they didn't want to make a ton of models for a ton of different people, but the mannequins are just not really doing it. I get they're there for scare factor, but it's not really scaring me much. Ah, stupid. Ugh! I can't even get these things in the grocery cart, let alone try to make sure that they actually stay in there. Okay, so the point of this minigame is to try and at least figure out how to get these groceries into the cart without getting spotted and all the way through. You unlock an ability by doing this, the stealth ability, which, even if you're in the smallest of corners, allows you to actually bypass the neighbor's vision so that way he can't see you. That's a great advantage to have, but God, if it wasn't unlocked behind such an unbearable minigame to do. You have to find 5 very specific groceries, and you're going to have 4 things at a time, so you don't really get much of a chance to get all of them in one go. Not only that, but you're also trying to avoid mannequins all the time, and sometimes they don't even get inside the grocery cart like they're supposed to, so it's just stupid regardless. Don't shoo me off like that, asshole! I'm just trying to do my grocery shopping here. You're lucky I even decided to shop at this place. Dickhead. So one thing I forgot to mention, because I didn't find this relevant until now, is the day cycle. It works just about as expected in any video game. You die and it changes to a different time of day. There's dawn, afternoon, dusk, and night. Pretty simple, right? Well, when you finish a fear minigame, you get to go back to just day. Which is honestly really nice, but sometimes it kind of screws you over. Like if a certain mechanic is supposed to happen at night, then you're kind of fucked. Honestly. Oh, come on! How is anybody supposed to figure that out without a guide? It took me at least 20 minutes to figure out what that was supposed to do at the very least. Ugh, I swear. You know, honestly, I didn't want to talk about it before because it was kind of a lame subject, but now I'm going to talk about it now. I hate how this game doesn't even tell you what you're supposed to do and just lets you figure it out for yourself. Yes, I get it. Yellow paint. Wahoo. But it still doesn't make much of a difference when this game doesn't tell you anything. It only gives you the core gameplay mechanics, and that's about it. It doesn't show off any indication of what you're supposed to do, ever. It only really shows you what you need to do, but even then, it doesn't tell you how to get to that point. Like this key, for example, right here. You wouldn't know how to get that unless you had the magnet gun, which you found from inside the birthday room. But you wouldn't even know those two things are actually, connected until you actually took one step closer to find out, hey, this is in the birthday room, which is the room right next to this one. And then you open up this switch right here, which then allows you to get inside the birthday room. But you wouldn't even know that until you had looked this up for a guide. No guns, huh? Listen, say what you will about the neighbor, at least he cares about some safety in this house of his. Oh, that just opened that up, I guess. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to do that. Ah, yes, my favorite way to keep crowbars away from my guests. The old crowbar and the electric box trick. How the fuck did he do that without burning himself? I couldn't even pick the shit up without burning myself the first time. Which, by the way, is a very annoying gameplay mechanic that should probably not have been implemented, but of course, realism matters in a game where this house is over 2,000 feet high, where in a whole dreamscape kind of setting where anything could probably happen. This game is taking a toll on me, man. So I got this crowbar in my inventory, and I cooled it off, but I don't think I should have been able to pick it up like that. In a lot of scenarios, very hot metal, even when cooled down by the usage of water, doesn't necessarily mean it's safe to touch. It's still very hot afterwards. The water would have been hot after the fact. So my question is, do we just not have that part of realism in here? What counts as realism and what counts as not realism? I mean, we're living in a world where everything looks like a fucking cartoon, so I'm pretty sure everything's not supposed to be realistic. But then again, we are living on real-world rules, so what exactly are we going for here? What are the rules, damn it? Never thought I'd have to say another one of those, but, I mean, it kind of calls for it. So there's this other stupid gameplay mechanic I forgot to mention. There are these 2 doors here which require you to open them at specific times. One at dead of night and one in the afternoon. So I think this is a very nice way of actually having this puzzle be implemented. But the problem here is it's not really leading you towards anything. Well, unless you turn off a valve on the side of the house, in which case it's very fruitful. But how are you supposed to know that without this information beforehand? Listen, if you plan on playing this game yourself, go right for it. But a guide is very helpful for this kind of situation, especially for these sections in Act 3. So I did manage to get the tram working, and thank God while I'm able to get to these different rooms using the rail. It is a little bit ridiculous that it's so thin. Yes, I get it, it's a small tram, but even then, I don't really think this is the way I would want to travel.
if I could get inside the tram and travel that way, that makes sense, but it doesn't really stop unless you want it to, and even then you'd have to go all the way back down to press the button, and yeah, it's just a lot of work. So you're gonna have to watch your footing, which I'm surprised you don't already have to do with the massive amount of gaps that are in between these things, but then again, who am I to judge? And it looks like a pretty high jump. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make this. But I just... Oh, I could just Mary Poppins my way down then. Cool. Okay, in all seriousness, how in the hell is that supposed to work out? I mean, I'm not Mary Poppins. I'm like a full-grown, middle-aged man. At this point, I'm 99% sure that number would have just let me fall to my death. I guess because it's a dream state, I don't really take fall damage here, but... why? I'm already in a dream state as is. Every time I've fallen down from the map, I shouldn't have been able to just go back to where I was. I should have been able to wake up. Usually that's what happens when people fall in their dreams. Also, why is this room so big? I knew I was scared of pantries, but goddamn, was I really that scared to the point where I just imagined everything as a big pantry? Do not even talk to me about patience until you've tried this minigame out for yourself, because dear God, this part with the darts here really sucked ass. I had to try and put these on the exact same spot where they were supposed to go, so that way it was level height with my jump, but also so that way I can make it all the way on the top of this billboard here without even really trying in the first place. But I have to keep trying because at this point, doing this platforming is just as painful as getting my toenails ripped out. Listen, I'm not a genius or anything, but I don't think big metal gears that are spinning can destroy a small cardboard box like that. Especially if you don't even know if there's anything in it or not. Most of the time, I assumed it was empty. So, what gives? So, before I go any further with this, I have to tell you about the menace minigame that is Fear School. Because, while it does sound pretty decent, I assure you, it's not. Fear School is one of those minigames where you just know for a fact that you're going to win. You just know for a fact, and then all of a sudden, everything just crumbles around you like it's nothing. The main gimmick of this minigame is to hide in lockers, mainly to stay out of sight from this teacher thing that, of course, just decides to spawn camp you for no good reason. On the off chance that it actually leaves you alone, you'll get the chance to actually move to a different locker, thus hiding for the rest of the time here, which would be great if the teacher wasn't a pile of shit. Mainly because of the fact that it'll auto-aim itself directly towards the locker that you're in without even seeing you go into it. It's like the AI is trained to specifically target onto your location despite it not knowing where you are. And here's the funny thing too. If you are in possession of the other students seeing you, you'll hear this loud clicking sound, which is very, very not cool. Especially when you come to realize that this is just kind of a bullshit minigame anyways, and by the time you reach it, you'll have aged 30 years and you probably would have had kids of your own that just went to college. Oh. So we just conquered our fear, I guess? That's strange. I wonder what the payoff for that one was. I'm pretty sure you can't hold it when it's red hot like that. And the same thing with the watering can, too. Why would you just do it with another object? You clearly can't hold this kind of stuff. It's red hot. You just got the key card, though. Which, by the way, why was it encased in ice? I mean, that's one way to hide it for sure, but the way the ice block was, you could have just taken it out. It would have been perfectly fine. So I have to feel like bears repeating here. You're going to have to go through this version of the basement again, except it's a little bit different. This time, things are more dilapidated, fallen down. But one thing that you will notice immediately is that the Shadow Man is here. He's an obstacle that only lasts a few seconds, but if you don't have all 3 power-ups needed from each of those fear minigames, you're going to have a rough time here. You pretty much need only 2 of them, the Fear School and the Fear Supermarket ones, otherwise you'll get caught just like that. The Fear School is what keeps you from getting caught by the neighbor here at the end of this part of the chapter here, but you also need the Fear Supermarket to hide from the Shadow Man. Which, what was the purpose of the double jump then? I get it was to reach higher locations, but I can do the same thing just from standing on a chair. I don't think I needed it for this section entirely. Ha! Well, hold on. Where was that latch whenever I was a kid? I mean, granted, we still don't know if that was actually a dream or not, but still, it doesn't make any sense. Why didn't we have that latch on when we were a kid? We would have been able to find out perfectly fine. Although the neighbor can bust down doors, so I guess it makes perfect sense. Oh. That's a giant neighbor. Well, if we didn't know that we were in a dream before, we probably should have. We definitely know it now. I mean, we went from a totally demolished and decrepit-looking house to just a fully refurbished one. So how in the hell did we not notice we were in a dream? We definitely are now. Especially since you just slapped us and we didn't even feel any pain from it. Weird. Okay, I didn't really want to mention this because it was only the first time it's happened, but this is the second time this has happened, and I don't think I can go out without saying this. We cannot launch out of a toaster that fast. The literal wind and the gravity would kill us on the way up, especially from breakneck speed. So why are we just able to shrug this off as it's nothing? I get it's a dream, but even in dreams, stuff like this would probably cause you to wake up, so why not now? I get that this is all left here for lore reasons, and that, essentially enough, this is supposed to tell a much more demanding story than what the game allowed for, but if you're just a casual player who doesn't care about the story, you're not going to know what's going to happen here, because this is all mixed-matched in all different kinds of ways. It shows you this yard with the Shadow Man looking out at it, and then the basement with the Shadow Man looking out at it, and then the neighbor putting up a sign of his simming kids, which he knows what happened to one of them, and according to the story later on, we find out that before the events of this game, his daughter died because of his son's hands. So why is he putting up missing signs for kids that he knows are either trapped or dead? Why is the Shadow Man here? What exactly is going on? Who cares? This is Hello Neighbor. I don't really think anyone really cares. I got a few questions. One, why are we meeting with our younger selves who doesn't even really seem to notice us? Number two, whose house is this? It clearly isn't our own because while we are in it, yes, I don't think we would have lived in a house this big. Number three, why does the Shadow Man just appear out of nowhere and become really large all of a sudden? That doesn't really make much sense to me. And then fourth of all, why are we protecting our younger self here? This is just a dream. It's not like if he gets killed, we get killed too. It's not the way that works in a dream. Also, how am I not getting killed myself with the fact that this man's slamming his fists into me? Wait a minute. It wasn't until like the fourth hit that I started to realize I started growing bigger and slower. To which case, yes, I get it. It's supposed to make the challenge more demanding, but it's just more annoying this way. Think about it. If you were trying to complete something in a video game and you just started growing bigger and slower too, yeah, you'd probably have more of an issue with this than you think. Oh, so I guess we're just the same size now? And he just explodes? What? Okay, listen, again, I can live in a reality where a giant house is created by a neighbor who is in a dreamscape. I totally understand it, but I just don't think that we can just defeat him by doing absolutely nothing. I still never figured out the symbolism behind this house. Think about it, the neighbor's on one side, the Shadow Man's on the other, but I really don't see the symbolism here. Does he still have to face his demons? Why doesn't he just open the door? Oh, it's boarded off? Well, why did he board it off then? I mean, I get it. You don't want to face your demons and all, but I really don't think boarding off the door is the best way to do it. We've already proven that the Shadow Man can do basically anything he wants. He could just face that door if he wants to. I think he's just pissing you off, man. So are we just cured of our PTSD and traumas now? Are we done here? Do we not have to worry about this anymore? Man, that's a great cap off to a story. I sure am glad that we didn't have to do this more times than one.
Hey.
This was the only game. The only game in the series. And it ended off perfectly. What do you mean there's a Hello Neighbor 2?
Hello, and thank you so much for watching my version of Everything Wrong with Video Games. This one was on Hello Neighbor because I hadn't seen anyone else do it yet, and honestly, it's one of my favorite games to play, purely because of how buggy and stupid it is. I do want to give a quick shout out to Chari5. He was the main inspiration for this video, as well as some of the comments that I would have made during this video. So just go show him some love too. And honestly, I spent way too long on this, so I'm probably just gonna head off for now. I need to sleep.